support this sales season by starting your Canva Pro.
Good evening, everybody. How are you guys doing on this evening? Give me 1 second to get my AirPods going. How's everybody doing tonight? Can you hear me? Yeah, you guys can hear me. I hope and I pray that all is well with each of you. And I want to just say welcome to this week's edition of Dialogues with Doc. We are having a children's author showcase on this week. So it's a beautiful Wednesday. It's December the 2nd, 2020. And we have made it successfully through the month of November. We made it through the first gesture of this pandemic. So I'm so excited that the month of December is here and that we are in the home stretch of 2020. I hope and I pray that each of you are well, that each of you are safe, that each of you are wearing your mask, and that your families and that you are doing well throughout the rest of throughout the days as we go through each and every day. I am so excited tonight because it's a brand new month with brand new fresh ideas, with brand new and fresh perspectives of guests and people coming on to join me. So I'm just so excited tonight for my guests that are going to be joining me. If you are watching this right now, please share the broadcast. Someone may be joining. Someone may not be able to watch it right now, but if you share the conversation on tonight, someone may go back and watch it later, and they may want to reach out to some of the guests. So I'm very excited to host this platform on tonight. I'm very excited to be with you guys again on another wonderful Wednesday. Like I said, it's December. We're in the home stretch. We're almost there. I'm so excited about this year being over. I know I'm probably not the only one who feels that way, but this has been a heck of a year, and we just want it to end as quickly as possible. So we're almost there, guys. Just keep the faith. Let's keep moving, and don't grow weary. We're almost there. So this week's edition of Dialogues with Doc is basically something that I came up with a few months ago, and I wanted to do something different for the month of December. For those who don't know, and this is your first time joining, thank you so much for joining. If this is your first time watching, thank you for watching as well. If you can, like the Facebook page, if you can, like the YouTube page, as I'm just trying to do some different things each and every week and get this information out to anyone who may be watching or anyone that is interested. So tonight's show is a little bit different. Normally I have on guests and we talk about a host of different topics, and each week I pick a different topic. But for this week, I wanted to do something specifically different. As you know, I'm an educator and I'm all about the children. So tonight's show is all about the children, and there are some great individuals who are doing some amazing work with the children. I wanted to bring some of them on tonight to be able to share some of the great things that they are doing. Give me 1 second to get set up. Things. If you guys can hear me, let me know. I want to make sure I'm not giving you Teddy Riley tonight. I want to make sure we good. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, so we are good. We are good. Tonight's show is about the children. And I work in a high school, but I'm also work with middle school children. I work with elementary school children as well. So I want to, thanks, Jay. Yeah, you guys can hear me. Great. I want to do something totally different tonight. Bring on some guests who are doing some amazing work with children. So tonight we're having a children's authors showcase. I put out a call, and I don't know why it just hit me randomly one morning. I want to do something for the children. So I got together and I put out an all call, and I knew some amazing guests that I could bring on tonight. I knew some guests that knew some amazing guests that put me in the loop with them as well. So I'm just very excited about tonight's show. So tonight's show is different. I'm going to bring on some guests that are going to be able to tell us about their amazing work that they're doing, tell us about their amazing books. And so I want to just provide them a platform as we get ready to approach the holiday season to just share out and share some of the great things that they're doing, and let them know and let you know how you can support them. So I got three amazing people tonight. I'm so excited. Of course, this is Dialogues with Doc, so you guys know that they can only come on my show one way. It's only one way they can come on, so I have to welcome them the right way to Dialogues with Doc. So give me 1 second to set them up. I mean, when they coming on here, I want to give them all the applause for the great work that they are doing. Hey, everybody.
What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing well. Give me 1 second to fix this for you guys so we can see those faces. There we go. All right, there we go. Hey, family. I feel like we're on the Brady Bunch right now.
There's a story.
How you know what? You did not. I'm gonna fight you. It's my brother though. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have Jamal Joseph, I have Latoya Princess Jackson, and I have Derek Jacoby Washington joining me on tonight. So, welcome to Dialogues with Doc. Thank you guys so much for joining me this beautiful Wednesday, this cold Wednesday. Jamal, thank you, man. I know you like on a whole other coast. Latoya, are you in California too, Latoya? Latoya, where are you?
She can't hear you.
Oh, I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, okay, she over here with me, so she good. So yeah. we on the right time zone, Jay. You over there. Yeah. You over there. So thank you, man.
My day is just starting.
Listen, so you three individuals are doing some amazing work. I just wanted to bring you guys on tonight, as I shared it in my opening. I wanted to do something different tonight. So normally I bring on guests to talk about a topic, but the children, it will always be a topic of a soft spot for me because I'm an educator. So I wanted to just share some great individuals who are doing some amazing work with children, and you guys are doing some amazing work with the children. You guys wrote books and things like that. So I wanted to have you guys on tonight to join me. So thank you guys so much for taking the time out your busy schedules to join me. I'm going to go around, do a round robin. I'll go ladies first. Just tell us, Latoya, tell us who are watching about you, what it is that you do, and then we'll get into the book in a few minutes.
Okay. First of all, Princess. I prefer Princess and
Princess. Okay. I got you, Princess. I'm sorry.
I think it's a connection issue.
Okay.
Princess, you there? I got you. Okay, I'm gonna come back to Princess. Jay, go for me. Well, I'm sorry. Shoot. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay. Well, I'm Jamal Joseph. I'm a dancer, choreographer, creative director, and now author. I live in Los Angeles, California. Yep. Oh, and I'm a member of the Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Just want to throw that out there.
It's just it's the right week to throw it out there, bro.
I mean, it's the right week,
Jacoby, jump in there for me, brother. I'm coming back to you, Princess.
What's up, man? I definitely appreciate the opportunity. I'm Derek Jacoby Washington from Gainesville, Florida, living in the DMV area. I've been here for about 14 years. Currently working as a workforce professional in tech education, so offering tech credentials to adults that are looking to transition their careers in the IT field, and just love kids, love education all across the board. So again, just excited to be with you tonight.
Thank you, man. Princess, you there?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're good. You're good. We family. You're good.
Yes. So I'm originally from Fort Worth, Texas, and I live in Atlanta. Recently graduated from Harvard with my master's degree in dramatic arts. I studied music, dance, and performance, and I currently work at the Atlanta Ballet. I am on faculty there, and I am a songwriter, dancer, performing artist / ballerina, and that's literally what I do professionally.
I love it. So I have,
and she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated for y'all AKAs out there.
I love it. So here you guys are doing some amazing work with your, like in your professions, but you also took the time out to take time out your busy schedule. Anthony, I see you. Hey, brother. Took time out your busy schedule to write a book. my first question for you tonight, anybody can jump in. We're just, and if you guys are watching, chime in as well. We're just having a casual conversation. You guys are joining in and joining in with us as well. How did you know you were called to be an author? So you're doing a lot of amazing things professionally. You're doing a lot of amazing things personally. But how did you know you were called to write a book? And it probably won't be your last book. So anybody can jump in. Y'all threw that out there. Probably won't be your last one. Receive it. Throw your hand up. Catch it. Somebody jump in there.
Yeah, right.
How did you know?
I guess I'll go. Well,
Go ahead.
So I didn't. It just kind of came to me to write, and it's really a coloring book to introduce characters. But I started with writing a song. So I was writing a song, and the lyrics to the song kind of spoke to me in a way that I wanted to start to tell the story of the song. And it developed into me writing a ballet based on the song that I wrote. And then after writing the ballet, I said, hey, how do I introduce the characters? How do I get people to understand what Vanity Lane is, who the characters are, what they mean, especially because I wanted it to be an original fairy tale, in a sense that, you have these original fairy tales like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and all of these European based fairy tale characters, but you don't really see original fairy tales developed by, Black artists, Black writers that feature Black princesses or princesses, from the African diaspora. And so I really wanted to explore that and figure out a way to bring those characters to life, not only on the ballet stage, but also how do you bring those characters to life in books. And so my first stab at it is the coloring book, and eventually, like you said, it will probably progress into other
I love it. And I love the piece you said about most times when you see us as a fairy tale-esque way, it's an adaptation of something that doesn't look like us. But you said, let me do something coming out the gate that that little brown girl, that little Black girl can immediately identify to and know that she can be empowered to enjoy the arts.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. Jay, and then I'll go with Derek. Jamal, go ahead, jump in.
Oh, so I actually did not know I was going to be called to be one. To be honest, it was like one of those things that I just said, okay, cool. Like, quarantine, I'm just going to write a book, like, something different. And I was not writing the book though to be considered an author. I was writing it to be considered as a producer film wise, because it was something I looked at most movies and kids books or kids, Disney movies and all that. And most of it was based off of a story or a book. So I said, this would be the first step and the easiest way for me to branch that into into like pitching that this is what I want to look into a film. So that's kind of how it took off. And honestly, like, me even like with choreography, I can make up something and I don't title it as that. So I didn't really think I was going to be called to be like, oh, you're an author. But it just kind of hit and it kind of stuck. And then the book got out there and like people are liking it, and I've been getting a lot of press from it. So it's been growing, and I was like, well, this is something new. So.
I love it. Derek, jump in here, man.
Yeah, so I guess like Jamal and Princess, I definitely didn't set out to be an author at all. I kind of sat down. So my book kind of stems from the senseless killing of George Floyd. And so I remember the day after his killing, I sat down and I began to kind of think about like, what would life look like in about 15, 20 years. And the thing about it is my sister had just had a baby earlier in the year. And so I was like, yeah, what would life look like for him? And so just began to sit down and like really write out my thoughts, and it kind of evolved into a poem. And so I read it to my sister the next day, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you should make that a book." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't think I want to do that." And I ended up reading it to a few other people, and they kind of confirmed that. And so I remember like later in that week reaching out to a publicist. And from that point, kind of everything fell into place. So my book was released within a month's time, which is really like unheard of. If you're right.
Yeah.
But in the public world, it was released in a month's time. Like everything fell into place, from the illustrations to typesetting, all that stuff fell into place. And so
It's just like clockwork. It was meant to be.
It speaks to like, timing and like doing things that you may not feel like you want to do, but sometimes may be called to do. And so, that's what it is, man.
So you guys have written three major literary works that are going to just do amazing, not just locally but internationally. I mean, what you guys have done, and we talk about the short time frame and windows of how you made it just pop and come together. It all just worked out for a reason, the way that it was supposed to work out. So I have to ask this question: were you guys avid readers growing up? And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't. I read a lot now, but growing up, I kind of read like read this Macbeth type stuff for class, and get your own understanding of it so you can talk about it in class. But growing up, I don't think I had a chance to read more for leisure. It was more so because I had to. So think about when you were growing up, were you that avid reader that could always be seen with a book, or were you kind of like me? You just I read because I had to read and really didn't get to read for enjoyment. I mean, I had more fun reading the cereal box than I had reading the stuff I was supposed to be reading. Jump in here and tell me, when you growing up, were you that person that was always in the corner with a book, or were you like, that wasn't my thing?
Yeah, not for me. I definitely would say avid. It was more so for like school, and then my thing was music. So I was definitely not reading.
Yeah, my thing was music and sports as well. I was not an avid reader. And if I was a reader, it was, I'm going to read the first sentence and know what the paragraph is about type read. I was like, give me the Cliff Notes version. Like, I'm good. I read the first and the last of each paragraph. Like, that was it. I did not, my ADHD was bad. I was like, if I couldn't dance, or I would read, but it would turn into a song. Like, they could be like, so you were walking and we heard, and I'd be like, oh, that's my song. Like, and then I forget that I wasn't even reading anymore, and it was just like, I'm not reading. So, no.
What about you?
I was definitely a reader. I loved books. I really did. Like, I was one of those girls who was excited when the Scholastic Book Fair would come to school, because I would love
Can you get out of my notes, please, ma'am? I got over here on this paper.
Like, I would bug my dad to like buy books for me, the Babysitters Club, 18 Pine Street, like all of those little series and books. I loved it. And then also, I'm a history buff, so I love history. So I like to read about, books, particularly Black history. So anything that involved like Black people and Black history, I was always like, that was probably one of the best subjects for me, was reading. I liked being introduced to new characters, new books. I love that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if it wasn't Black history or Greek mythology, I didn't do it. Black history and Greek mythology was the only two things I read. That's it.
And Prince is over here in my notes. You took me back, and I was thinking about it before the show. I said, man, you can tell me nothing growing up when the Scholastic Book Fair would come and your mama give you a good $10, and you go to the library and you come out feeling like a king or a queen because you got like 4 or 5 books. And or I'm gonna date myself even more. Y'all remember the Pizza Hut Book It program, where you read the books and you got the personal pan pizzas from Pizza Hut coupons?
Oh yeah, we had Camp Read a Lot. It was like a camp program where you was like Camp Read a Lot, and you just read you had to finish a certain amount of books in a week, and you got awards based on how many books you could finish in a week.
Princess is like, no, I don't know none of that. So, where am I at now? So, can you share why you wrote your book? So, and you can, and this is where I'm giving you the platform to tell us about your book. Tell us how you how you pretty much came up with the concept, and just why you wrote it. Derek, you already started about, and so I'll let you start first to continue that conversation. You said we were in the midst of a George Floyd.
Yeah.
I'll let you, and then Princess, you can jump in behind him, and then Jay, you can close it out.
Yeah, so like I said, I really sat down to talk about like my response to, or my feelings rather, to the George Floyd killing, and look at like what would life look like for my nephew in the next 15, 20 years or so. And so it started as a poem, and like I said, the book is essentially about a 7-year-old boy who loves ice cream and idolizes his father. And so like, what was the typical day? He went to school, got up in the morning. His father woke him up, took him to school. I promised that after school they were going to get some ice cream. While picking up his son after school, and on the way to the ice cream parlor, they're stopped by a police officer unjustly. And so the book really tackles like the myriad of emotions that the father feels in having to explain this situation now to his son, his 7-year-old son, who like sees his father unjustly detained with his hands up, gun pulled on him and everything. And now like having to deal with the feelings of explaining that to the son. And so the book it has really blown my mind, the reception that it has received. So the attorney for George Floyd actually Ben Crump posted about the book on his social media, got like a lot of local media press. It's just been amazing. It's been being used as a teaching tool for a lot of educators that are having to have this conversation, especially when our children return to school. Like, they had tons of questions. George Floyd wasn't the only person, right, that was murdered or even put in that situation. And so now our kids have questions regarding that. And so teachers are now put in a position to have to explain that situation. And so I'm just really grateful that my book is acting as a catalyst or platform to really initiate some of those discussions.
Now, for somebody who's watching who didn't see the flyer, what's the name of the book?
The book is called Son, You Matter.
Got it. Son, You Matter. Thank you, brother. Princess, jump in.
Yeah, so my book actually started from a song that I wrote called Vanity Lane. And I was recording the song, and the song was really addressing like the issues that we have in society when it comes to beauty, the societal standards of beauty, how, celebrities, and not just celebrities, but we push this idea of perfection on girls. And then, they change things about their body, and they change things about their face so that they can fit this, idea of what beauty is. And so that's what the song was about. And then the more I started analyzing the lyrics, I was like, there's a story to be told here. And I wanted to turn it into a ballet. So then I started to develop the characters, and I said, okay, what are the characters? What is the main character going through? And what do I want to talk about? And once I started, developing the storyline for the ballet, I said, okay, there's something here. And so we produced the ballet at Harvard, and it allowed me to kind of really flesh out the characters, really develop the libretto. And it was like, at that time, I didn't realize that I was prepping myself to also write the book, because at that point I was just really focused on developing characters for a ballet. But then the more that I got into the ballet industry, especially up north, I was at the Boston Ballet, and I was working on my thesis, and part of my thesis was, why aren't there Black ballet dancers in principal roles in ballet companies? And then to get to that answer, it was because the stories that were being told weren't being told by Black creators, Black authors. And so when you have characters that are developed from a Eurocentric perspective, then you'll get a Giselle, you'll get a Sleeping Beauty that reflects, Eurocentric, aesthetics. So for me, I said, okay, so I need to start from the very beginning of creating characters, creating a story. So from my ballet, I said, okay, let me turn this into a book and let me turn it into a fairy tale specifically because for young girls, especially young Black girls, we don't have fairy tale characters to look up to. And, you know, you're young. When I was young, I wanted to be a princess. You know, I wanted to, you know, look like a princess. I loved magic. I wanted, you know, that imagination. And I feel like our young Black girls particularly are, you know, encouraged to grow up so fast. Their imagination is taken away from them that they can't just enjoy the wonder and the awe of just being a little girl wanting to be a princess. And so that was kind of what made me say, okay, well, let me turn this into a book, but specifically, let me turn it into a coloring book to introduce the characters and then build off of that so I can kind of start to create my own little Disney princess vibe in my own little way. So that's
Gotcha. No, I love it. I love it. I'm coming back to something you said and something he said. Jamal, I had you. So Jamal's a little different. So I had a show a couple months ago called An HBCU Changed My Life. He was one of my guests, and he announced that he was going to be releasing his book. So just to see what all has taken place in such like a month and a half, maybe 2 months with your book is jump in here, man.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So my book is it's called Black Boys Dance to. I don't know if y'all can see that without the light, but it's called Black Boys Dance to Darnell Enters a Talent Show. So I started this book. Actually, it's kind of weird. I think I remember having a conversation with Princess about me wanting to write a book, and then she was just like, "Oh, I wrote a book," and I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Where is it?" And she was just like, "Boom!" I went to go order it right then and there. And that was like something that actually, you know, enhanced me. And we danced together for, I don't know, over 10 years now. And it made me just be like, hey, like, all right, like this is something you can do. Like, I really want to give a male perspective. And just a lot of the jobs that I do with different artists and different TV shows, it was always an issue with boys and male representation. Like I go on auditions and there's, you know, 8 hour day for girls. And like there's thousands of girls. And then the boys, we can all fit in the same room. Like, you know, and then they're just doing cuts from there. And it was just like, you know, cool, we're gonna start with you guys. So there was that. I don't think that people really realize it, but even after working with Beyonce for Coachella, there was only like, you know, no more than 20 guys. And then there's like all of these girls on stage, and not just because she, you know, goes for like pro Black and girls and all of that stuff. It just wasn't a lot of males. And then when I was doing America's Got Talent, there were parents literally who were like, "Oh, I don't want my son to do this. I want my son to dance publicly. I don't like." And the boys were almost ashamed, or girls automatically start to be like, "Oh, he gay because he danced."
yeah.
And they started to stereotype them immediately. And parents were like, "I don't want my son to learn feminine movement." Or it was always an issue until they were behind somebody famous or until they were on TV. And so I feel like I want to address the Black community as, you know, stop taking that dream away from people because of what you want to stereotype someone as. And, you know, just to really tell parents, you know, first, parents, support your child and what they want to do. That doesn't mean that they're going to turn out a certain way, or like, I think that sexuality and preference is different from artistic expression. That's something that's totally different. And then I also think that people needed, I felt like I wanted little girls to be able to see that there were boys who were young who were going to be able to dance. So this isn't just a book that I was like, okay, this is for girls. I mean, for boys, this was for girls too. Because if girls saw it as a norm, then they would know not to make fun of, you know, young boys who were interested in it. Parents could support, teachers could support, but then too, just to build that confidence amongst young Black men to be saying like, hey, like this is something that I like to do, and this is a gift, and it's a gift that I think that God gives us to be able to move, to be able to, I see dance as being an athlete. Like, the stuff that we do, the amount of movement that we do is athleticism. So making people see like what we do is just as much. And I've actually gone against like, some football players and other people, basketball players, and like, your stamina and your strength is actually stronger than mine, where I look like this, but what you can do is 9 times better than what I can because of the way that you use your body. So yeah, I just wanted to encourage a lot of young Black boys who, want this to be a dream. Yeah.
No, I no, listen, you guys, dang, y'all done messed me up over here. As far as my flow, I'm coming back though. So my question, my next question was what makes your book different? But you guys have already shared. So just once I share out my observations and from what you guys just said, we could jump right into that question. So when I look at Princess, she said her book was about the Black ballerina. And even though it's about a Black ballerina, it's taken the stage in places like Harvard, where she was doing her studies, and then the Boston Ballet. Derek, yours was written in the wake of the George Floyd upheaval, and Benjamin Crump, you said Benjamin Crump saw it and Benjamin Crump posted it. Jamal, you were writing a book just to encourage and just to basically get a message out that Black boys dance too, and you've worked with Beyonce at a Coachella and America's Got Talent, things like that. So you guys had no idea that your literary works would take a life of their own and be propelled into where they are now. So for someone that's watching, who is thinking about writing a book or thinking about creating a literary work, when you think about what makes your book different, what can you share with them with ways they may be able to put that idea to paper to make theirs stand out or make it set apart from someone else that they may write a similar type of book, or just share how yours just stands out even more. Like Princess, I like how yours started it's not just a regular book, it's a coloring book right now, and I probably wouldn't even be able to do your book because I never colored in the lines. That was always that little mark on the report card that the teacher would give you the bad comment. Calvin does not color within the lines. It's just it ain't happening. So I probably wouldn't do well if I had your book in front of me. But like, what makes yours so different from everybody else's?
I'll say with my book, even though it's a coloring book, it has self-affirmations also. So like it's not just coloring, it's like, I took affirmations about body image, how we, when we look in the mirror, the imperfections that we see and your insecurities that you see. So the coloring book started out as more so a way to introduce the characters from the ballet, but then it developed into something where it was like, our young Black girls, particularly the little ones coming up, they need that inspiration. They need words of affirmation, because every time they look on the TV or, on social media, everything is telling them that everything about themselves is wrong. From their skin color to the hair to the nose to whatever, everything that you see right now tells young Black girls that you have to change something about yourself to be beautiful. So that is what the actual message of Vanity Lane is. The lyrics say, don't go too far down Vanity Lane. Confidence is the name of the game. You can be confident, but you don't need to, change things about yourself to to be beautiful. And so that's kind of the life that the story takes, not just the coloring book, but just the story in general, where the main character is battling. It's a duality, because there are two things that my book is addressing. It's addressing the duality in society, but it's also addressing duality within the ballet world, where you're told to be perfect and pristine and look a certain way, but then it's like, who makes these rules? Who makes these? Who says that this is the way ballet has to be, or this is the way you have to look to be beautiful. So there's a lot of deconstructing that's happening within my work. And so I think that's what sets it apart.
Can I say something real quick about her book? What stood out to me? When I got her,
Mhm.
I got Princess's book. What stood out to me and what made it different is because when we see black ballerinas, we always see them in like same flesh tone stockings, and they'll have shoes, and it's spray painted brown, and they're always in a tutu. But in her book, it talked that black isn't just American black. So she has different ballerinas that are dressed in different ways. So it's like an Ethiopian, one that has like a Nefertiti tutu, one that has an Indian tutu. So I thought it was really cool to see so many different types of black, and their ballet outfits and tutus matched their nationality, which is something that we don't see at all. Like we see, this is the structure: pink
It's very camp.
here,
It's very
tutu,
compact.
or white.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to see like a Nefertiti crown on a ballerina, I was like, that's black. Like, that's really dope. You just see the bun always. So I was like, that's what stood out.
No, I love.
These are the characters right there. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. No, shoot, I don't even know what they. Derry, jump in here. Oh, I'm coming, Justin. I see your question. I'm gonna come back, Justin. I see you. I'm coming.
So I think the thing, first and foremost, the thing that makes all of our books different is that we are part of the 11% that was released this year. So less than 11% of children's books that have been released are books with people of color. So that's one thing that makes our book stand out. Specifically for my book, Son You Matter, it's speaking to real life issues. Like these are issues that our Black and brown men have to deal with on a daily basis in some instances. And so where my book is not about dragons or different mythical creatures or whatnot, I fall into a category that speaks to the average person. The other part of it is it speaks to a father-son relationship, which you don't often see in children's books. Like there's a strong and solid bond between this 7-year-old and his father. Like he idolizes his father. And so I think that is extremely important when society is projecting that there are a number of absentee fathers in Black and brown homes. And so we're perpetuating a positive message that, our men are in our children's lives and that they play a very vital role in their upbringing. And so I think that's the one of the main things that that makes my book a little bit different. I think the last thing that I'll say in regards to the difference in my book is that, it shows a police officer pulling a gun on this Black man. And so I remember when I first wrote the book and released it, I got a lot of questions as to why I was able to see that, or why I was able to portray that in the book, rather. And I was like, well, that's something that you don't see, but our children see it, right? So why not shed light to this, and then shed light to how the father works through that situation and explains that situation to his son. So yeah, I think that's what kind of makes the book a little different.
I like that. I like it. It's real.
It's real. It's real.
But it's real. Like even with Princess, you don't see ballerinas that look like us. You don't see in a children's book where a police officer pulls a gun on a man. Like you don't see that in a book. You don't see boys in dancing. Like these are just things that you don't see. Go ahead, Jamal. Jump in here about what makes Black boys dance too.
So I think that what made mine different is I started with a 2-parent home. A lot of times when we see Black anything or we see Disney, one of the parents is either dead or there's a single parent home always. That's not a lot of kids' stories. a lot of people's parents are still together or whatever, even if their parents get remarried, like their parents, those step parents are still together and stuff. So I wanted to show people that like it is possible, and maybe that that was something that parents might divide on, that they can, still come together. I also made sure that he had friends. A lot of times there isn't the support of your friends until you're on the up and up. So had he won a talent show, then all his friends would be like, oh, let's get in. But I have it to where they started to join in, like, here, like, bro, like, I'm experiencing the same thing. Like, how can I support you? How can we grow together? That was definitely something different. And I think that lastly, normally when I see books, it's boys dance. It's always like boys dance, dude. This is this. Like, it's so inclusive. And I don't mean to exclude, but I know that in other cultures, it's not an issue. They're like, oh yeah, I put my son in it. It's okay, it's great. And I'm like, but us, it's like, no, bro, go play football, go play basketball, go play this. And that's not always the case of what people are good at. And so that is what made it different. So I want to show different styles to where now I can build this series to say, like, next he's gonna go learn ballet, he's gonna go learn tap, he's gonna go learn jazz, he's gonna go learn the merengue, like all these different styles of dance, and to show that Black people do other cultures. Like we put ourselves
We
in
impact
other
other
fields.
cultures. We impact other cultures.
Yeah, and we only see like Black boys in tights, or like they're holding their ballet poses, and those are the things that go viral. But there's so many other styles out there that are untapped and touched. And it's also very crazy because stepping being one of the biggest styles in the Black community, everybody does it in college, but it's not like it's cool because you're in a fraternity. But I'm like, no, bro, that's dance. You're strolling. That's dance. Like, but you can't come for people who are dancing because of the way it looks on them. So
You're
that's
dancing.
what makes it different.
I love it. We have a question. Oh, go ahead, Princess.
I just want to say also with Jamal's book, it came right on time because I teach ballet dance classes with Atlanta Ballet in the community. And I remember right before Jamal released his book, I got an email from a parent who wanted her to take her son out of dance because she was saying that, she's a Black mom, and she says, well, I don't want my son learning feminine movement, and this is not right. It goes against whatever I believe in. And she wanted to take the little boy out, but the little boy loved the dance class. Like, it wasn't him, it was the parent. So I think that's a very, it was very timely that he released that book, because I was like, there is this weird perception that ballet or dance makes you feminine, whereas like ballet and dance is like Jamal says, one of the most athletic things that you can do, especially as a boy, because you learn how to lift girls and you do all of these things. And so I think that was a really good thing to do.
It's listening to each of you talk about what makes your book different. Well, but let me go here first before I go there. We had a question from a viewer. Anyone you can answer is what's some promotional advice someone on the panel could give for someone seeking to write their own book?
Hey, Justin.
Oh, Justin, I see you, Justin. So anybody can jump in
Justin.
And just give him some advice. Give that man some advice.
For me, I did my promotionals a little different. I created like a little cartoon for my character, and I made it move, and I did a little interaction with the character. I made sure that I hit settings of which the book is. So you see pictures of me doing ballet, you see pictures of me doing hip hop, you see pictures of me doing different stuff with the book promotionally. I also just made sure to watch when you launch. And I think that launching is very important. Not close to holiday season, not close to this, not close to that. So I think that is very important when you're doing like promotions. I think doing pre-sales is very important because you doing pre-sales allows people to a bulk of people to get it, and then you're able to see and just engage and get people's like opinions on things. Also, some very good promotional things for me is that I sent my book. I had it as a PDF, and I would send it to different people. So like Dance Magazine and Dance Teacher Magazine, they wrote reviews on it. And then that made other people sing it. And then they put it on their Instagrams, and then they tagged it. And then I also started reaching out to like news networks and everything else. And I know, Justin, you work in like the school system, so that would be you reaching out to all of your teachers who teach preschool and say, hey, like, can you guys pitch this in your actual meeting that why this is effective, making sure that they know all the sight words are there that kids are going to need to see for that grade level, making sure that it's clear, making sure that there's going to be something else after it, creating like activities or surrounding the book that they can do. The teachers look for something that's also going to be interactive. So I think that that's probably the best that you can do promotionally. And then last but not least, reach out to your friends and your family and just ask them to share it with 10 people at least.
Yeah.
Just like, hey,
exactly.
You don't even have to buy it. Just share it with someone else. Because word of mouth is our strongest form.
Yeah, I say all of what Paul said, and I would just stress that last point about like reaching within your family and friends and your overall network, and giving them exactly what you want them to share. I found was extremely helpful in regards to like the language and whatnot, so that they can send to folks within their respective networks. But yeah, I agree with everything that Jamal just shared.
Yeah,
Princess, did you want to jump in?
Jamal said it all.
Okay. Jay posed the question, says, what are you guys currently doing to work with local school districts or community centers to ensure Black students get access to your stories? So you guys have some amazing stories. What are you currently doing to work with local school districts or community centers? Because they need to hear these stories.
Yeah, I'll say with me, I do have a really good relationship with the Boys and Girls Clubs because I have my ballet program with them. So I've reached out to some of my colleagues at the Boys and Girls Clubs and, some of the community directors and said, hey, I have this book, how can we get these to your students, or maybe purchase a book and get these books to your students, especially in the arts programs in your Boys and Girls Clubs. And then I've reached out to obviously Boston Ballet and Atlanta Ballet, and they all have community programs where they go out into the community and trying to formulate, continue those relationships, but figure out a way to get these books to those girls who are in the community programs. And obviously, I've been teaching, like I said, at a community program at a charter school. So I've been, trying to figure out with the principal and, the executive director, how to get those books. But I'm also always open because I feel like sometimes, people want us to come to the community, but like I'm here locally in Atlanta, so I don't know all the communities that are in different parts of the country. And so if people have access, then reach out to me, reach out to us, let us know, and we'll try to figure out a way to get those into the community. Because at the end of the day, for me, even though it would be nice to make money from it, at the end of the day, really me creating this was to just introduce something to, especially for young Black girls, and have them have access to images that look like them. So whatever way I could get that into the community, get these, books into the community, I'm open for it.
I love it. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, I just reached out to a lot of foster cares, orphanages, and like children's hospitals and things. So I reached out to their donors, and then I saw if they could try to purchase bulk of books to give to the students. I recently, like yesterday, I launched my Adopt a Child campaign. So I just sent it to different friends and family. And I was like, hey guys, for every $10 is donated, I'm gonna send this book to a school. It's gonna come with 2 dance classes from me. They'll get the coloring book and the book. So I've been like trying to push, because I'm also not in the mommy daddy market and the kids market. So reaching out just to all my friends who are teachers, honestly, like every teacher principal, I'm like, hey, here's a book, like just check it out and let me know what you think.
Well, since Jamal went there, what's next? You went in amazing work. So Jamal shared his Princess and Derek. What's next with Vanity Lane? What's next with Son You Matter? Like, go ahead and chime in as well, since he took my lead in.
Okay. What's next for Vanity Lane? Well, I just shot an animated short because I want to turn it into, animation. And I recently put together a production team, and I'm also working with Jamal offline. But we're putting together a visual album / musical where we will turn, bring the music together, bring the characters together, record a full-length visual album where we'll sing and dance and introduce the story. And then in July, if the world gets back to normal somewhat, in July I plan to premiere the ballet. It's a dream ballet / musical here in Atlanta. So the next few months really will just be working on the music, getting the music really tight, getting casting for the different roles, so that we can record the visual album / musical and then go into producing the ballet.
Visual album, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. D, what you got, man?
So for me, as Princess just stated, I also am working on an animated short for the book. I have 2 books that are slated to release next year, 2 children's books. And then in addition to that, so the book Son You Matter got so much interest. I was like, well, I can't just leave it there. So I want to do something bigger. And so at the top of the year, I'll be launching a foundation called the You Matter Foundation. And it is geared towards providing funding to Black and brown children out of inner city communities to further their education, whether it be traditional education or vocational training.
I love it. I love it. I love
animator. It. Motion animator, let me know. I need a feature film motion animator.
I got you.
So you 3 individuals have no idea. I just been taking notes the whole night, and I have my own little notepad over here. I'm looking at the arts. I'm looking at social justice. These are areas where the students that I work with, well, let me go back. As an educator, whenever there's a budget cut, the first place they always go to is the arts. Long story short, I even know some kids who there's one school I know where they are rebuilding a band program from scratch, because think about it, when they started cutting the arts and things like that, the first thing to go was the dance and the band, things like that. So unless a kid knows how to play an instrument coming in the door in high school, they haven't had any practice. They haven't had any training to do that. So I'm loving how with Vanity Lane and with Black Boys Dance too, it's targeting the arts. I'm loving with Son You Matter how we're tackling and talking about those issues that our young boys, our young Black and brown boys deal with each and every day. So you guys had no idea just doing this work was going to impact and take off the way that it does, because it targets those areas that force us to have uncomfortable conversations. To that, like Princess was saying, Jamal, your book came right on time. She had just gotten an email from a parent who didn't want her son to be in a dance program. Mom, think about it. We're from Africa, where we've been gyrating and dancing as a form of freedom for the longest. So why is it an issue now? And people forget. And these type of books force us to have those conversations with our children. And the crazy part about it is the conversations are not uncomfortable for the kids; they're uncomfortable for the parents.
The parents,
Yeah.
It's mom, I want to dance. Nah, you ain't dancing. You know, that young man that wants to dance, it's the parent. The parent is the problem. For the young man in the book that saw the police officer pull a gun on his dad. This is, Derek, you and I are in DC. This is something that can happen at any given day, at any given time, depending on whatever the situation is. So I want to applaud each of you for coming up with your concepts and putting them into the form where they can be presented to the world. I do want to ask the question though about the process for getting from beginning to end. What type of challenges can you share that you face putting this thing out? Like, I know it wasn't easy. Can you guys share any maybe challenges you may have faced from beginning to end that you may want to share? That probably, Jamal, that probably don't include profanity. I know my brother.
Cuz. So bad. That's a no. Okay, well, go ahead, Latoya.
Well, I was gonna say the challenge, because I released mine during COVID, so the challenge was a lot, like especially financially. You're putting something together. You know, we're not. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not wealthy. So to put, to do this independently without, support from a publisher, without you're literally building something from scratch. So that means you're having to, build a team, and then you get someone that you think is on your team, but then they're really not, and then you have to regroup and find someone else. And you meet somebody and you think they believe in the vision, and then they're like, okay, well, they don't, so it's that was like a lot, because you have a vision and how it's going to turn out, but other people don't, especially if you don't have the money. And for me, as an artist, I never want to ask anybody to do anything for me for free, because I know as an artist how that feels to meet, you're an artist, you want to get paid for your work. So, trying to make sure that you have the funding to pay the artist, especially the illustrator, to do the work, making sure you get quality work, but then on the back end, having the money to promote it, having the money to, have I don't have a publicist, so it's like everything that I'm doing to push the book is all of my own leg work. And so when you think about, I'm a creator first, but then when you have to take off your creative hat to put on your business hat, it's a lot to juggle, because you're juggling, trying to stay within your creative space, but you're also like, okay, I have to take that off, and now I have to deal with, how I'm going to pay the bills, how am I going to do this, how, because this is literally like my full-time, gig or whatever. So that's the challenge. I mean, the easiest part for me was actually publishing the book, but the hardest part is getting people to buy it, getting people to know about it, having the right funding sources to come through so that you can push yourself out there. That's the challenge.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with all of that. I think for me, I tell people all the time, I don't have the traditional publishing experience, because books take time to like put out. My experience was a month. Everything kind of fell into place. But like Princess just stated, I think the challenges that I faced, they stem post release. It's like really like pushing the book. I have a full-time job. I manage people, and that takes time. That takes a toll. So I have to now do this dance of like, how much energy and effort do I exert into my full-time work that pays my bills and, like Princess said, keep my lights on, versus how much energy I put into this book, which is a passion of mine, and I'm really, I feel like it's important, but it doesn't right now. It doesn't pay my bills. So like I'm
Right
constantly
now, right now.
listen right now. Key phrase right now. So I'm constantly having to like figure that out. But I just keep going back to like working within your network. Like it is really imperative that you pull from the network of people that you have around you that really believe in you, believe in your vision, and have them push it out. There is power in social media and word of mouth. I think like Jamal said earlier. So like really pulling on those people to assist you in some of your publishing efforts. But I think right now the main part of it is like post release is where I found most of my challenges.
For me, I was very anal about time. I'm really big on time. So if I wanted something done by a certain time, then it should have been done by that time. So I can kind of go into that business mindset of like, if you said this drawing was going to be done by this day, it needs to be done by this day. But that was a big challenge for me, just time and learning to be patient with this, because it was something I'd never done. Like I can go create a dance and be done in like an hour and be like, cool, let's film it tomorrow. Whereas this took a little time. So the patience of it was definitely something. I was, again, like the spending was very tough for me because I invested over $5,000 to do mine. And I think the fear of the what if you don't make this back is scary. Of course you want to touch people, but it's like, okay, I at least want to break even because this is a lot of money I'm doing to hope that it's gonna, change someone's life or something. And then I also I thought it was a challenge for my supporters, because people have supported me through the years. They've supported me in like my dance career, and I was afraid that people wouldn't support this part, or that they would be like, wait, so you dance and so now you're doing this, and like I was afraid of that backlash. And also being boxed in, because people were asking me, so like, you don't dance no more? Like you don't put out stuff no more? And I was like, okay, like I don't want to be boxed in, and then people would be like, okay, all you're doing is children's work, and then it forgets about everything else I do. So I experienced challenges more so business, how to put it out. I also didn't want my Instagram to become a children's page. So
Right.
it was just really tough to say, like, how are you gonna balance what you did prior to and how to make this be an addition.
Gotcha. Well, no, I want to tip my hat off to each and every one of you, because y'all are doing the dang on thing, even in the midst of Miss Rona, this COVID pandemic, and there's just some amazing work that each of you are doing. And I just want to say thank you guys for coming on my little show on a Wednesday night, taking time out of your busy schedule. I just wanted to provide a platform to everybody that's watching. This is the month of December. What better way to sow a seed into a child's life than buy them one of these amazing books? You have the Vanity Lane, you have Black Boys Dance 2, you have Son You Matter. Please, sir, please, ma'am, support the movement. Even if you don't have school-age children, support the book and give it to that bad kid at church that always kicking the back of your pew. So buy a book and sow a seed into someone else's child's life, even if you don't have any children. So to my amazing guests that join me on tonight, tell the people how they can keep up with you. I'm going to put you guys' websites up as well while you guys are talking, so they can go to your websites as well. Ladies first, tell them how they can keep up with you and support and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can keep up with me on Instagram. I have my Instagram, my personal Instagram, which is Electric Princess, and it's spelled a special way. So it's ELECTRK Princess, and Princess is spelled, just the regular princess. So Electric Princess, that's my Instagram. And then the book is on Instagram. It's Vanity Lane Ballet. So Vanity Lane, VANITY Lane Ballet. And then if you want to just check out anything that I'm doing, it's you can visit the website. I think you posted it, but it's LaPrincessentertainment.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Princess, for joining me tonight.
Yeah.
Derek, jump in, man.
Sure. So on Instagram, I'm at D Jacoby. For Facebook, Derek Jacoby Washington. Twitter, Derek_Jacoby. Or you can connect with me on my website, djacobywashington.com. The book is available there, or you can check it out on all digital outlets.
Love it. I love it. Mr. My man. Come on, brother. Close us out.
Well, yeah. So you can follow me, Jamal Joseph, JamalJoseph. That's my Instagram. That is my Facebook, and my website is jamaljoseph.com. Everything is Jamal Joseph. You can find my book either on my website. If you want something personalized, I would say just get it on my website, but it's also available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, like Apple Books. It's like all of it. The coloring books, everything is available. Yeah, that's how you keep up with me. And yeah, that's life.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my guests for joining me on tonight. This has been the Children's Author Showcase draft, because soon they're gonna be just pushing the stamp down and pushing the books on out. So I'm telling y'all think I'm playing. Y'all gonna remember that crazy Negro said on the show it's gonna blow up, and it did. Watch. This has been this week's edition of Dialogues with Doc. Thanks to my guests again. Princess for joining me. Thanks, Derek, for joining me. Thanks, Jamal, for joining me. I will be back next Wednesday again for another edition of Dialogues with Doc. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe, wear your mask, and support the book movement. Everybody, have a good evening. Thank you. You guys,
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.